God is just starting to open our hearts, I think, tonight. I think God's got a word for us that, I can't remember a time when I had a word that I thought was for everybody at the same time. And I believe that God is definitely moving us, as Robbie said, in this season. And I don't take that lightly, and I just pray that you just remain in a spirit of worship, that your heart is soft, let God speak to your heart, because He's a good God. And He's a loving Father, and so He wants to wrap you up in His arms and love on you. And so I believe He's got words of encouragement. And so, you know, worship is such a big part of any church. And so we've got about, I don't know, I saw there was a master song list. We have like, I don't know, 30 songs, 40 songs that they can do. So why don't we just spread around, hand out the list of all the songs. You pick your top 3. And the top 12, what we'll do is on 7, Jerry, we'll play 7 songs on Fridays, 5 on Sundays, just the top 12. We'll only play those songs. Because if those are the best songs, then that's got to work every week, right? We'll just play the same songs every week. If that's your song, we'll just play it. Why mess around with stuff you don't like, right? So I'm thinking 7 for Friday, 5 for Sunday. Sundays are a shorter service. That's how we have it worked out. So how would that be? Can we do the same thing every week? Would that work for you? Sean says okay. Of course we're not going to do that. Some of you started to panic. Some of you started to panic. Of course we're not going to do the same songs every week. But you know, sometimes we do get ourselves into a rut. We do the same thing. We get up at the same time. How many of you on your day off, you still wake up at the same time? We're creatures of habit. Some of us go, if I don't, I won't be able to get up for work. But we do that. We get up at the same time. And when I wake up, I'm always confused, and I'll go, what day is it? It used to be Saturday was the only day I didn't have to rush out of bed. Now I have Sundays too. I can stay in bed past 7:30. That's great. But we get in our car. If you have to wear a uniform to work, you wear the same clothes every day. You drive the same route, unless it's orange barrel season. You drive the same route. You run in 5 minutes late like you do every day because you never change the time that you leave the house. You're still running in there late. You clock in, you do the same thing. You probably eat the same thing for lunch. You come home at the same time. You watch the same TV shows. You go to bed at the same time. I don't even need a clock at my house. Because when it's 9:30, Jonathan's going to bed. He's like, I'm tired, good night. His body is on the clock. He wakes up and he goes to bed at the same time every night. I can't get Joshua to go to bed, but he's falling asleep now for some reason. Because you're in church. But wouldn't it be silly to think that what we do every day, the same, that's all there is? I was also thinking about the fact that I have 4 kids, and they're all different. I can't talk to each of them the same. I have to adjust to each one. One, because they're different ages. Unlike my coworker who had 4 at once, she had quadruplets. And yet all 4 of her kids are different. 2 boys, 2 girls. And so, as parents, loving parents, we know we have to make adjustments, right? For one kid, it's different. I always laugh at young parents who go, oh, my baby doesn't take a pacifier. We didn't let her get used to one. I'm like, you had nothing to do with it. Either that baby wanted it or that baby didn't. You experienced moms know what I'm saying. You don't pick your baby's personality, you know. Oh, they were a good sleeper. Okay, then you're lucky. You had nothing to do with that either, right? Other than giving them a nice schedule, a nice structure. But our kids are different. We do different things every week. We do get caught in some ruts. We get caught in some patterns. And I was looking through some of the most famous stories in the Bible. I noticed a pattern. So let's look at God in the Old Testament for a minute, although it's recaptured in the New. Think about some of those famous men of faith in Hebrews 11, in that faith chapter. Some of us call that the faith chapter. It starts out, faith is the substance of things hoped for and evidence of things unseen. And then it says, remember by faith so-and-so did this, and by faith so-and-so did that. Noah's Ark. How many people were commissioned to build an ark? 1. How many times did God want to destroy the earth? Lots of different times. He threatened it. But only one person, he said, now build an ark and save your family. Never did that again. Abraham, finally, at an old age, had a son named Isaac. And God said, show me how much you love me and sacrifice your son. Now that wasn't a rite of passage for all prophets in the Bible, or all men of faith. They weren't all asked for, like, that wasn't their hazing. That wasn't their initiation. Oh, and then you have to sacrifice your son. Just Abraham. He never did that again. What about Moses? Did Moses do 10 plagues for anybody else? It was just him. Did Moses part a large body of water any other time so that his people could go through? Oh, he only did that once. Not a lot of encores. There was one encore when Moses got the 10 Commandments. God wrote with his own finger the 10 Commandments, right? He etched out the 10 laws. Moses came down. Things weren't going so well. He was so mad he broke the tablet, so God had to do it again. But it was the same idea, just had to fix a problem. Did God ever do that again? No. Did God had Joshua, when they went into the Promised Land, march around Jericho 7 times silently. And then on the 7th time, what were they supposed to do? Blow the trumpets. Ah! And what happened? Walls fall down. Were there any other lands that God's people had to take over? Yeah. Did he ever do it that way again? Okay, did he ever have any rebellious prophets besides Jonah get swallowed by a whale to save his own life until he had a little reconsideration of what God wanted him to do? Remember, the whale was mercy. The whale was not punishment, by the way. If he wanted to punish Jonah, he would have died in the water when they threw him over. But out of God's mercy, he gave him 3 days in a whale to think about it. That was mercy. Did he ever do that again? To get his way? To get a prophet to reconsider? No. Interesting, God never does things the same twice. Usually. He's got a lot of different ways to do it. I'm thinking all those men he dealt with were very different men. Just like your kids. We deal with them differently. That's exciting. God's not boring. Praise God. So then I thought about Jesus as he walked on this earth. Of course, he turned the water into wine. Did he ever do that again? Just for his mama. What are some of the healings Jesus did? He healed the blind. How did he do that? He spit in the dirt and made mud and put it on his eyes. That must be how Jesus heals then. He puts mud on the broken part. Oh, he never did that again? Oh. What else did he do? What other healings? He did what to the dead? He raised the dead. Yep.
He laid a hand on one leper and then he sent 10 others to see the priest.
Funny thing, why did he do it the same? Why didn't he make a prayer line? Only one came back. How did he heal the woman with the issue of blood? She touched his garment. So were all the healings like that then? He just had to reach out Jesus to touch his garment? No, we only hear about it with that lady. You see the point. God does things differently, constantly. Because he's not out of ideas. He is the creator. And if you create, you get the first one. I was thinking about, what is the beauty of a newborn? They're brand new. Now, sadly, in the New Age side of things, people think that your soul gets reincarnated and if you didn't do it right, you come back as something else. So even then, a newborn's not new. They're used. Just refurbished. I'm glad that we know that that's not really the case. That every newborn is brand new, created and woven together by the hand of God himself. But that's the beauty of a newborn. I was at a graduation party last weekend, and I'm holding my granddaughter, and this woman comes up to me, and I knew who she was. She was my best friend's aunt. I hadn't seen her in years. She was in for the party. She goes, "Oh, can I hold the baby? I'll give you go eat. You eat." And I'm thinking, lady, first of all, I don't see my granddaughter much. And secondly, you don't really even know me, and I'm not giving you up my grandkid. And my daughter would kill me if I handed her daughter off to somebody that she didn't even know. But there's something about that newborn, that baby, that people just, they want because it's so new. It's not refurbished. God created it. And so I'm thinking about God and how he's moved and how he tells us in his scripture how he moves and how he does things. And you know, he came up with something new every time. He didn't do the old, like, he only had 3 ways to do it. Either you land in a whale, or you get mud on your eyes, you know, or you sacrifice your son. Those are the only 3 ways. No. He dealt with each person individually, right? And he does that with us. See, how he deals with me is not going to be how he deals with you. So Jesus had healing different ways. I consider this page the been there, done that. Once God's done that, he doesn't have to repeat it. He just comes up with a new way. And he can because he's the creator. He created us from nothing. From the earth to the stars, from the sky to the land, the animals, the water, from nothing. That's it. Now, the enemy of your soul can only counterfeit and pervert and distort, steal, kill, and destroy what God creates. Right?
Right.
So God creates. So if God says he's creating a new thing, he doesn't mean he's going to take the old jalopy, clean it up, give a new paint job. You know those refinishing shows? Pimp My Ride? Or what's the other ones?
Trick My Truck.
Trick My Truck. And you know how they refurbish everything. And those things come out looking good. Or Extreme Makeover Home Edition, Extreme Makeover Human Edition, Extreme Makeover whatever. God's not doing a makeover. He doesn't take the old and make it new. He recreates. He doesn't improve upon it. He recreates. And God is in the season, I believe, for us. He's doing a new thing. Because you know what? There's not a whole lot of us that can really be fixed. We need recreated. So I'm looking at the first and foremost, it's important to realize we're not saying God changes. Hebrews 13, verse 8. And I apologize for taking one little verse out of here, but I just want to remind us that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That's settled. The same God of the Bible that treated Moses one way, Jonah the other way, Abraham the other way, and Joshua another way. He did different things with them. Did God change? No. Does Jesus change? No. So if he's doing a new thing, it's not that he changes, but he's looking at all of us going, whoa, you folks are very different from each other, and I'm going to do new things inside of you. Just because I don't know what's there doesn't mean it's not there. And it's interesting, as you go through seasons in your life, and they'll been there, done that kind of thing, and then you see someone young come behind you, and they're just discovering it for the first time. And you've been doing it for years. Think about those of you who just recently come into the internet, or a cell phone for the first time, and you're like, this thing is handy. Did you know it can do this? And the 6-year-old next to you goes, oh yeah, been there, done that. Right? Just because I'm finally realizing, wow, I can sync my email at work with my email on my Yahoo, with my Facebook, and my phone calls all on one phone. Isn't that cool? And people go, yeah, welcome to 1992. Right? So it's new to me.